Of course not, Chris. I still had you on mute. I put that on so when I'm shuffling around before I actually go live, you don't hear me in case I fuss. Rarely cuss, but every now and again. So that's our mirror. Welcome to Coffee and Create. I'm Diane, your hostess from Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. The wild side vanity, that's the only thing I can think to call it. The wild side vanity that we started last week and I showed you some sneak peeks of throughout the week. Well, the bottom of it's finished, but that thing didn't come with a mirror. So I poked around the back of the store. I found this mirror and I think we can make it match. It has a beautiful shape to it. Of course, it's not going to be the style that would have come on that dressing table. And I have a trifold, but it's really heavy. And I don't see this needing a heavy mirror. Let me show it to you. You tell me. I absolutely love the way this turned out. Let me see if I can get you down just a little bit lower. Loosen this up and we can slide down. Beautiful stencils with the stick and style stenciling, stamps with the catwalk iron orchid design stamp set, and all the colors of Rethunk Junk Paint. Bashful Blush, Flamingo, some Violet Shadow, mixed in with some Wild Berry. We even have some Copper Leaf in there, Mel shared with us. Now I do need to put wheels back on the bottom, but look at those legs. And that underside, I can't get you any lower than this or you'll be upside down. But it is really coming together. And those peekaboo drawers, look at that. How cool is that? Now if you're calling Two Girls Treasure, I can't grab the phone right now. I hear it and I know it's close by. But we're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. And online, you can get us anytime. So today's adventure, we're going to make this mirror look like that dressing table. And I think it's a good shape. I'm going to bring you back up just a little bit. That sun's shining in nice and bright. I think we can make it match just fine. Got a couple of challenges with this. The first one is that it's black, and that's a challenge because it's going to take a lot to cover that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Chris, thanks for alerting me to the no sound thing. Y'all know I try to push all the buttons. LaDawn, thanks for being here. Michelle, good morning from Nashville, Tennessee. But I would like to take this mirror and I would like to make it coordinate with that wild side vanity. And as it was coming to life, it just really took on this 1990s Lisa Frank feel. So I did put a butterfly on. I thought it through. I went to my search engine and I typed in Lisa Frank, came up with a ton of different designs to look at, and I was like, this is cool because this looks like that. Except it didn't start as an emulation. It just started as a, this is really what I see this vanity looking like when we're done with it. So let's get this taped off. And of course, we're challenged by the shape right here, but I have my trusty little razor blade. I know y'all love it when I break out the razor blade first thing in the morning. Yes, I've had coffee. Really, this is, it's not terribly difficult. It's just a little challenging because you don't want your paper to cover up places that you need to paint, and you don't want your paint on places that you don't want paint. So covering a mirror that has a lot of angles just takes an extra minute of time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start trimming this back, and we're getting blinded by that sunlight. I can't be mad because it's not raining and it's not 110 degrees yet, but I know the heat across this country is insane right now. Y'all, just pray for the people in Kentucky. I saw the most heartbreaking stories of the devastation in eastern Kentucky, and our hearts go out to them. If you are familiar with Mike Rowe, the guy that does the videos for Dirty Work, he does a lot of commercials as well. But find his Facebook post, because one of the guys that works with him on Dirty Jobs, that's the name of his show, recommended some legit charities in the eastern Kentucky area who are actually going to help the people of eastern Kentucky. Always be cautious who you donate to, and make sure that you're donating to a legitimate source who are actually going to help the people in that area. Pray for them, donate if you have $1 or $2. Pray for them again, because they need God's help. All right, now I'm on a rolly cart, so I'm gonna try to stay off of it so that I don't break my mirror or kill myself this morning. All right, I'm gonna grab a cleaning rag and my prep. That's always the first and most important step you'll take. And I'm looking for my bottle of prep because I had so many tools out, and I was even in here yesterday working. We have a spectacular surprise for you this week. Make sure you tune in to Rethunk Junks Thursday at 3 this week. Don't miss it. Don't miss it, because if you miss it, you're going to miss something ultimately important. And also, there it is. I moved my paint too. There we go. That sun will break shortly. Let me move this little sunshine barrier. See if we can catch some relief. I'm in here. I had to turn the camera, y'all, this morning, because if you know us, you know Ariel's in here doing her walking.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind her. And, well, I can't seem to block it up. She's doing her walking thing, so I had to turn the camera so she would not be on it. She's not real fussy about it. She's pretty good about it. But she does love to do her walking in here. That air conditioning is a good motivator, isn't it? All right. We're just gonna wipe this down right fast with a rag of prep. I'm going to take the price tag off because we're not going to sell it like it is. No, no. One of the neat things that I love the best about Rethunk Junk Paint is the ability to take pieces that really don't match and match them. It's not hard. Sometimes you've got to spend a little bit more time looking at the style so that it'll coordinate. But you can literally take pieces that nobody else in the world wants, and with a little bit of paint and creativity, you can make it something that everyone will want. And whether that means you want it for yourself or your child or someone in your household or your family, or whether you want to emulate the look, at least you'll know, confidently know, that you don't have to have a matching vanity and mirror to make a matching vanity and mirror. Now I'm going to break out one of my little 1/2-inch brushes because this has a lot of swoopies right here. And if you've been in the store, like I know you have, Miss Judy, good morning. Good morning. Melanie, hey. Tay, good morning, baby. I hope you are doing well today. So take your 1/2-inch brush to do your swoopy spots. It's always good to have several sizes of brushes on hand. Now you know my 2-inch Wooster shortcut is one of my faves. It always will be. But there are times that you need detail brushes. And I don't really feel like I need anything bigger than a 2-inch brush. But if you're doing a huge surface, you might feel like you need more than 2-inch brushes. I don't use anything larger than that. My larger brushes that you see in here on the workstation, those are for dusting. When I have to sand a spot because I have wood filled it, or it just requires a little extra, or even when I go back after I've painted a piece and I cut the surface to make it smoother, I use my larger brushes to dust, and I use my smaller brushes for my detail work. And when I'm doing something like a mirror frame, this is the detail work that I'm talking about. Now, you always hear me say, watch your edges and your ridges. Doesn't matter what kind of paint you're using. If you create a ridge where your architecture changes, like this edge right here, let me ease you down so you can see what I'm talking about and not see me. You've got a ridge right here, and an edge. You've got edges right here. This has a little bit of architecture. Ridges to me are when you paint the flat surface and it builds up a ridge of paint along that edge. You want to make sure you watch that as you're painting, because if you let that dry, then now you have a lump that didn't belong there. And then you don't finish with a clean look. It looks like you painted it, and it doesn't look like you painted it well. So always, always, as you're doing your flat surfaces, watch your ridges and watch your edges for drips, because your edges will actually push paint off your brush and it'll cause drips. Not because you have too much material on your brush, just because you hit a spot that forces the paint. Because these are kind of softy. I love these little brushes. This is my 1-inch Blue Hawk brush, and these are nylon bristles. They are soft, washable, reusable, And on a surface like this, it's just all I need. I don't want a 2-inch brush here because if you'll look, that 1-inch brush fits most of this work perfectly. This is about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So I might have to make 2 stripes here, 2 passes, but I get what I need done. And I'm gonna shift the camera just a little bit, so pardon me for shaking you up. My little legs down here are a little too wide and I can't get the angle on that I need. So I'm gonna loosen them up and change them. I'm probably gonna move you around here so that you can get a better visual of what I'm working on without looking at the back of my head. There we go. And I think I'm gonna unplug the light. We definitely don't need any extra lights this morning, do we? You're gonna catch the shadow there, but you're probably gonna catch a better visual. So I'll move this on over, tilt that in. How's that working for you now? You can see that ring light, can't you? Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Miss Judy. How are y'all today? Now, I actually have my back turned to the comments, so I tell you what, I'll pop my phone over and see if I can't turn the volume all the way down and watch with you. And that way I can catch your comments. I'll set it right there. Perfect. Yes, Sharon. Yes, I did get the AC fixed. That man worked for hours on end in insane heat. I ran parts for him and he fixed it. This is not the time of the year to be without air conditioning, but thank you for asking. We had some air conditioning in the house. We didn't have all we needed, but we're so spoiled for air conditioning. And like I said, Sharon, how about your people in Eastern Kentucky? I was just suggesting that we all unite in a prayer for everyone in Eastern Kentucky for the devastation that they are facing, because it's bad, y'all. It's bad. The fires in California, pray for them. Pray for each other. We're in a time, and we're gonna sit here and paint, and we're gonna try to treat each other well, and we're gonna keep on believing. And that, my friends, is the way that is round here. All right, let me speed up my process now. I'm at the bottom side. I'm not gonna speed up so that I drip, run, or skip. I want to get this base coat on, and I want to show you, and I probably, as this is drying, I do have my fan on, I'm probably going to take a sample board. I want to show you how I mixed the inks, and I want to show you how I stamped the catwalk on that vanity. Because stamping it on here, you see we don't have a whole lot of room to work with here. I got that bottom side edge. You can even see my shadow. I can't cut that shadow out. I'm gonna leave most of this ridge line right here on the inside until after I get the body done. I want to go ahead and get most of this completed so that I can put that second coat on. Let me go ahead and crank that fan up. Y'all know I need that fan. Even if I'm not sleeping, I need that fan. All right. We need one more little sliver of tape to hold that baby down right there. There we go. And just turn your brush sideways and come across that lip edge. If you get the paint on the glass, and I'm trying really hard not to, but if you do, there's so many different things you can do to fix it. You can take a razor blade and you can scrape it off. You can take your prep on a small paintbrush and you can just kind of wiggle it around and take a rag and wipe it. You got to make sure all of your paint is dry before you do that so that you don't take off something that you don't intend. And you can always come back and touch up with one of your small detail brushes. I just hate chasing paint. That's what I call it. When you do a part and you clean it up and then you got to go back and do it again because you cleaned it up and you got to touch it up and then you mess it up. I call that chasing paint, and it's tedious, and sometimes I'm not a patient person, and I have no patience for chasing paint. So I try to take different measures, find what works for you. I try to find what works for me. Each situation, each piece of furniture is different. It just is. Now, if y'all are just coming on and you did not see the full view peek I gave you of the Wild Side Vanity, I had posted a couple of images yesterday. Because it's not my, generally speaking, it's not my style, but it's so cute that I just really love it. I just do, and I was not a big Lisa Frank person. My daughter liked the Lisa Frank. That was her jam. That was her age group. And I bought a lot of that stuff. Kudos to the Lisa Frank Corporation. But it's a neat style. A little feminine, a little wild, not harmful, not outrageous. Watch those ridges and edges. There we go. And I'm going to get this side real quick, but I'm going to try not to get in your face. But I think it's unavoidable. I'm going to scooch this down a little bit. I've got my little rolly cart. Listen, this is the base of one of those glass top desks. And the desk, we just took it apart because part of it broke, and this little base is on wheels, and it has been just one of the most helpful pieces over here in the studio. But we are cleaning up. I have the studio on a mess because we're cleaning up. Classes will start back after Labor Day for us. I know school is going back in, and it's time to get the work done. Scoot this back over. How about it? One coat, back of your hand, not your fingertips. Your fingertips will leave marks, the back of your hand won't. Even if it's still damp like that. Look, the back of my hand, I got the paint on my fingers, but I didn't leave any marks in the paint. If you touch it with your fingertips, you're going to leave a mark. You're going to leave your fingerprint. The FBI is going to find you, and it's going to be all over from there. But if you touch it with your fingertips, you're going to leave marks that you're going to have to cover over. If you touch it gently with the back of your hand, the back of your fingers, you can find what's still damp without leaving any marks in your paint. Questions. I have tons of answers. Don't be afraid to ask. You know I will give you some sort of answer. You need more true gray? Come on and get it, Miss Judy. Oh, Tay, I'm so glad you're feeling better, baby. I love you. I love you. Miss Judy, I love you too. And Miss Judy, I love you too. But you come on and you get you some paint. We will be open at 10 a.m. today. We also, y'all, are moving toward, wait for it, opening back up Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. That will also begin after Labor Day. We will do that through Christmas. We will see how it works for us. We're still a little understaffed, but I've got to give major props to Melanie and Charlotte for stepping up, being present, learning the things we do, loving the things we do. And the fact that if I'm not here, y'all can come in and count on them to help you. So if you come in and I'm not here, you make sure you tell Melanie and Charlotte how much you love and appreciate them, because in a time where small businesses could not find people to work, and y'all know I'm that one, these two young ladies have stepped to the plate for Two Girls Treasure, and I am ever grateful for them. I hope you are too. Tell them you love them. Buy some things from them. Chat up with them. Charlotte's real young, but she is learning how to paint and she is loving it. And Melanie's just the cutest little thing that's come out of California in years. And she has an amazing style. And she moved to South Carolina and started learning how to use Rethunk Junk Paint products. She hasn't stopped yet. Both these girls are very knowledgeable. They're getting there. And they can help you if I'm not here. Because we're doing some things. We are doing some things in this space in the world. And I thank you for supporting us and loving us and being a part of what we do and who we are. Because we are the place where you can get amazing vintage home furnishings and the products to refinish them and make them beautiful again. Now, I'm all about making some furniture beautiful again. Nobody else wants it, that's okay. I'll fix it. We'll make it pretty. And then I'll come on the air and I'll show you how. So you can do it too. Alright. That little edge. Here we go. Straight down Broadway. Don't brush too much, because if you brush too much, you're going to pull the wet paint back off. You can go back and touch it up after it's dry. Not a big deal. I've got the fan on it, so it's drying pretty quickly. 2 coats of Bashful Blush over black, and a factory black at that, so you know it was blacky black and had a lot of shine to it. And I didn't do anything special. I just wet my rag with crap, wiped it down, and went to town with my paintbrush. And that's 2 coats. Now, I know there's a discussion, questions, uncertainty. This is the way I look at it. This mirror was black. I could have potentially used a median color like a gray to go from the black to the gray to the Bashful Blush. But that's still just another coat of paint. And if I have to put another coat of paint on, I can't see opening another can of paint. I'm going to use the color that I started with, the one that I want to end with, so that as I'm going, that's the only color I have to contend with. I'm positive there are instances where it would make sense. Now, my Bashful Blush covers really well. There are times that your whites may not. Believe it or not, white is one of the hardest colors there is to paint. Because white over white, you risk missing a spot, and then your whites aren't going to match. White over cherry, the cherry's going to bleed. 100% of the time, that cherry is going to bleed into your white paint just to do it. And white over black, it's tough because it takes so much to cover it. But in this case, my Bashful Blush, this is 2 coats, is going so well over this black mirror that I don't fear that my 3rd coat is not going to cover this. Again, I might have to do some touch-up in some spots, but you know what? Touch-up doesn't bother me. I break out my little brushes and touch things up all the time because that's what you do when you're refinishing something. Get the bulk of it done. Get your body finished. Get the majority of what you're working on done. And then come back with your tiny little brushes and do your touch-up at the end. Have you watched Bob Ross lately? Have you ever watched him do touch-up? That's what I'm talking about. I'm a big, big, big Bob Ross fan. I'm going to do this 3rd coat because I used the back of my hand and I touched across it and it was dry enough that I was not going to pull the paint off. And I just want you to look, let me see if I can ease you in here. I want you to look at just that upper ridge that I just painted. All right, you see the paper? You see where I need more paint right here? And you see where that 3rd coat covered over that black just fine. I think we're good. I think we're on the right track. I think we're doing this the right way. I'm gonna ease you back out. This is a neat feature, isn't it? Aw, Alice, good morning, honey. I'm so glad to see you. And Melanie, you are so welcome. You do a job here and you do it well, and I thank you. I appreciate you. And I want everybody to come talk to you. Y'all come talk to Mel. All right. And if you dig yoga, Mel teaches yoga too, by the way. Mel, drop a link so that everybody will know how to get to your yoga classes online. Mel doesn't come in until 3 o'clock on Tuesday because she is teaching an online yoga class. And of course, because of the pandemic of 2020, she moved to strictly online, and it just stayed that way. But she can help you stretch and move in such a way that it will improve your posture, it will help your muscle aches, your back aches, your headaches, and you don't have to pose like a tree, I don't think. But if you do, be a mighty willow tree. But Mel, drop that link so anybody across the country who is watching us on YouTube and Facebook will know how to get into one of your fabulous classes and support your small business too. And Tay baby, you do the same. Drop your link. Now, y'all might remember my Tay baby. She's the tall girl. She's being overtaken quickly by my child. My child is becoming the tall girl. But my Tay baby, she grew up, she went to college, and she went to work in the hospital. But her little creative thumb could not stay away from doing the things. So Tay has been flipping furniture, just like she learned how to do here at Two Girls Treasure. But now she's taken on a new adventure. She's doing cups and koozies and t-shirts and decals and things. So Tay, drop the link to your space in the comments. Good morning, Donna. How are you, baby? Tay, if you're still with us, drop your link so that folks who need teacher gifts or back to school or Christmas gifts or just something funny to stick on the back of their car know who they can get it from. And that would be my Tay baby. Alright. I'm going to do the cap one more time. And I have been checking my ridges and my edges the whole way. You can always split your edge with your brush to try and ensure you do not mess up your clean lines by creating a ridge of paint. Always check your ridges and edges. Not because your paintbrush is overloaded, but because the edges will force the paint from the bristles of your brush and they'll make a mess. It's like gremlins, they'll just do it just to do it. Y'all look how pretty she is now. Isn't that something? I can't wait. I can't wait to put that stencil and that wild side catwalk stamping on here. How we doing for time? It's 9:46. Oh no, you're on the upside. Donna, I hope you are doing well, honey. You take care of yourself, drink lots of water. Drink lots and lots of water. And be careful. 2.5 years without it, and boom, there it is. I spoke with one of my other friends yesterday, and she had the same thing, and she has been miserable. So I pray for all of y'all. Thank you, Donna. You know, Bashful Blush is such an amazing color, because if you're standing far away from it, it almost looks white, but you can tell it's not white. But it is such a gentle pink. It's your cottage pink. It's your Victorian pink. It's your farmhouse pink. It's your nursery pink. It's roses and it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Don't live without Bashful Blush. One more day. Go online to twogirlstreasure.com and get your Bashful Blush today. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to move the camera, so y'all bear with me for a sec, okay? I'm going to leave the fan blowing on the mirror. I'm moving all of my accessories out of the way. And I'll put the paint right there. And I will move the camera right here. Swoosh. There we go. I'm also going to drop this it down so we have a little more height. Well, that's not the way I wanted to go. That's okay. I've got another button right here. I want to get you up high enough in the air that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Up and up and up. Look at our beautiful store. All right. I'll scoot you in as far as I can. And I'm going to aim you down right there. Now, I have catwalk right here in my hands. I have it's stuck to the packaging. That is a sticky stamp. Isn't that neat? Now, I'm not an animal print lover, but you can see that stripe right down through the middle. That's the backbone of that cat, isn't it? That's a wild cat. Let me show you how we did this. I've got my brayer, my Iron Orchid Designs brayer. I'm going to set this to the side and let me cut a piece of sample paper. When you're trying your stamps out for the very first time, don't go to your piece of furniture. And here's why. If you do your piece of furniture and it doesn't work well, then you're going to have to repaint, and that's not always the best option for you. I'm going to turn a light on here so you can see better. It gets frustrating when you're trying to stamp for the first time and you do it on your furniture and it doesn't work. So here's what I recommend. Get a piece of paper. You don't have to have a great big piece of paper. Just get a piece of paper. And if you're going to use your brayer and your inks, let me ease you over so you can see more of the project, less of me. If you're going to use your inks, you've got two choices. You can get a stamping pad, you can get an ink pad, and you can load the ink pad. I do that, but I am going to run these colors together so I have a variegated finish. So I'm going to put one line of turmeric and I'm going to put one line of black. Now your open time on your ink is pretty good, so you don't have to worry about that ink drying up fast. If you are using your Rethunk Junk paint, you do need to be careful because your Rethunk Junk paint does not have the open time that this ink does, and it will dry quickly. So if you're using paint, be quick and efficient. Don't hesitate. I'm not trying to mix these colors. I want both colors to show, and it actually changes the color. So bray the ink over your raised relief. When you get your stamps and you open them, you can feel that. It's a raised relief. Turn it over, position it where you're going to stamp, and lay it down. Don't wiggle it. Anchor it with one hand, and with the other fingers, just make sure you rub over, tickle, don't smash, don't push. Just gently rub over the places where you inked your stamp. And with a stamp like this, with as much pattern as it has, you can ink as much or as little as you want. Once you feel like you have given it a good little rub, a good little tickle, lift it gently, and there's your image. That's not hard, is it? And if you look, You can see the variegation of color. I did not mix them or blend them. I just ran both colors across my brayer, just like that. Cover your stamp, pick it up, find your space, lay it down gently, and tickle, rub, don't smash, don't push, don't beat on it, because all you're doing is using that ink to create that image on your surface. So if you're new to stamping, don't jump on a piece of furniture first. Just grab a piece of paper and practice, just like that. You can always use that piece of paper to make wrapping paper. Simple and easy. Now, let's get back to the task at hand, because we're going to run out of time before we run out of fun things to do. Wild berry, flamingo, and violet shadow. These are your keys for your stick and style stencil, so that it matches your dressing table. And this is the same piece that I cut last week. It's still sticky. I'm going to continue to use it to do the mirror. But as all good things must come to an end, it's 5 minutes till 10 o'clock and I need to open my doors. But before I stencil this mirror, I want to make sure that my stencil lines are going to line up with the surface of the vanity, because I don't want my stencils to be offset. I want them to be cohesive top to bottom. That's the mirror all the way out onto the vanity. We open in 5 minutes, y'all. 4 minutes. We open in 4 minutes, y'all. So I will get that phone. I will call you back shortly. But except for the stick and style, which I sold out of this week, we have stick and style coming in stock. I'll let you know when it's available. Catwalk is available. Go to twogirlstreasure.com. Use that little search magnifying glass in the top corner. Type in catwalk, or search the entire Iron Orchid Design collection and choose your favorite pieces. Don't forget, if you're getting a stamp for the first time, get your ink, get a brayer, or get your ink and ink pads for your stamps. You'll need both of those products. They are support products for your stamps. Thin mounts, that's the acetate that I use to put the ink out on. And if you're using a stamp that's not a full sheet like Catwalk, you'll want your thin mount so you can lay out your design, lay your thin mount over it, lift it, ink it, and stamp it. We'll do a whole video on that coming soon. Have you seen the teasers? Tease. We have some new Iron Orchid Design products coming in August, and guess what? It's August 2nd, so they're coming soon. Everybody say good morning to Charlotte. She's here this morning. Hey, Charlotte. Come see her. She's learning how to paint, and she loves Rethunk Junk Paint products. Speaking of Rethunk Junk Paint products, Super Thursday at 3 announcement with Laura Whitlow this Thursday. Make sure you're right here live on our Facebook page to catch that. And then Thursday evening, we have a Rethunk Junk bundle sale, and that's all I can tell you about that. But you make sure you join us from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. as we bring the surprise to you live on our online sale. Yes, you can purchase online and we'll ship it. Yes, you can purchase online and we will let you pick it up in person. But this week, you're going to want to make sure you watch and buy during the sale for all of the special discount codes and all of the special add-ons to your bundle packages right here at Two Girls Treasure. I'm Diane, that's Charlotte, and Ariel's walking laps around the store. Stop in and see us. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. We're looking forward to seeing you again real soon. Go grab a